Hello students, this time we are going to use the help of your graphics calculator to help you find domain and range of certain functions. So first, for this example, we are going to isolate y. We make y the subject of this equation. So we do so by subtracting x squared here on the left hand side, and of course you have to do the same on the right hand side. So doing so results in only y on the left hand side, and then you have 1 minus x squared on the right hand side. So we are going to try to graph this function now, and to do so you go to this button y equals, and you can enter the equation. So 1 minus x is here, x for x button, and squared button is there. So normally you are going to check your window. For now we have it as the standard version, so negative 10 to 10 for your x-axis and negative 10 to 10 for your y-axis. So how does it look like? Press graph here. So we get a parabola facing down with the vertex that looks like the on 0, 1 here. If you want to be sure, then you can check on the table of values. So we press second and graph here, which means going to table. And we see that here it's quite symmetrical. It's symmetrical, so at 0 you have, at x equals 0 you have y value equals 1 as your vertex. So of course you know that this one goes forever on the left and goes forever on the right hand side as well. So knowing that, then we know that the domain of our function is any x value, because it goes on forever left and right, and that's how you write x is any real value. And the range of this function is then, if you see here, it's anything below 1. So on the y value you see 1 is the maximum, and then anything below that. So then this is how we write it. Y is smaller than or equal to 1. Right, the next example. We have y equals root of 8 minus x. So in your graphics calculator, we can clear the first function we have done, and instead we are going to fill in the square root. So square root of 8 minus x. So when you see here how the graph looks like, it seems like it stops here somewhere at 8, 0. And again, if you want to make sure of that, let's look at the table of value, and we can scroll down to see what is going on there. It looks like the y value goes lower, and then at x equals 8, y value is 0. And what happened next? When x value is greater than that, you have nothing. It's error, so it's not in the domain. The domain starts from 8, and then lower than 8 is okay, but more than that is not possible, as you see there. So knowing so, then you can answer the question. The domain of this function is anything less than 8, or 8 itself, so 8 or below. So how do we write that? So we will say the value of x can be anything lower than or equal to 8, not more than that. And what is the range? So as you see just now, that the value of y starts from 0 and it goes higher and higher, but there is nothing lower than 0. So then we can say, okay, the value of y, the range, is anything greater than or equal to 0, not lower than that. Right, the last example. y minus 2 equals 0, and to make y the subject, we add 2 both sides. Adding 2 both sides will give you y equals 2. So if you know about linear function, this is a special kind of line because it's horizontal. Let's check what do we get here if we clear the last function and we just enter y equals 2 as the equation. So we will get this horizontal line at y equals 2 over here. So, and again, just to check, I'm going to look at the table of value, and we see that for any value of x, its image is always 2. So, and as you see, because on the left-hand side and right-hand side, the function goes on forever, then we know that the domain of this function is any real value of x, and the range of this function, because every value of x is paired up or its image is always 2, then the range is just y equals 2.